What's good, world? It's your boy SK74 Gang. How y'all doing today? You feel me? Anyway, so today's review is on the story of NBA YoungBoy, the documentary, full story. 4KT versus TBG. I don't know exactly what area he from, so I guess they explain it in this. It's not like I don't know YoungBoy. It's more or less like I don't really, how can I explain it? I don't really know as much as I should know about it. I guess you could say that. But that's why today I'm about to go ahead and watch this, figure it out. So let's get to it.
The love and support you all been showing is amazing and motivates me to make more videos for you guys. If you like these videos, make sure to subscribe, it would mean so much. With that being said, let's get into the video.
Welcome to the party. I'm up to Molly the Zen, the lean, that's why I'm moving retarded. That's why I'm moving
right, and then left. Who the foolish friend was a up. He left the we with the nine.
You got something in common, welcome to the party. You shot it, nigga? Welcome to the party. Oh, you get bitches? Welcome to the party. From Canarsie, Brooklyn. Here we go.
I want to make music that change the world. Let's get together
With the string of gun violence across the country this weekend, between Friday and Sunday, at least 10 cities reported mass shootings. Those are shootings with 4 or more victims.
People want for this kind of violence to even stop. You know, you won't know it until you get out there and you march in those streets and do the beat in those streets and walk those sidewalks and knock on those.
The story of NBA YoungBoy. Kentrell Deshaun Gowden, aka YoungBoy Never Broke Again. Born in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, October 20th, 1999. YoungBoy has always known to be a wild person, and that started way back as a 4-year-old kid. He apparently broke his neck at the age of 4, as he was wrestling and broke his neck by accident. Due to his injuries, he had to wear a head brace to heal. But the braces left permanent scars on his forehead, and that's the scars you see on his forehead today. As for his upbringing, he was mainly raised by his maternal grandmother because his father, who was sentenced to 55 years in prison for a robbery gone wrong, and his mother moved out of the neighborhood. Later in YoungBoy's life, he dropped out of school in the 9th grade, and was arrested for robbery and was later sent to a detention center in Tallulah, Louisiana, where he served 6 months. While being locked up, that's when he started writing music, and wrote lyrics to his debut project, Life Before Fame. His grandmother would unfortunately pass away, due to heart failure back in 2010. After that, YoungBoy moved into his friend and fellow rapper known as NBAOG33. The two of them would make money off criminal activities to pay for studio time and to make music together. YoungBoy was the middle child of 3 siblings, with his older sister by the name of Telly Gowden and a younger brother by the name of Ken Gowden. Then there was his mother, Sharonda Gowden. She is also a Baton Rouge native, and apparently also tried to rap in her early years. Growing up, she forgot about music and had her kids, She was the one who apparently inspired YoungBoy to make music. YoungBoy was apparently only 7 years old when he wrote a song for the first time, so he started at quite an early age. As I mentioned earlier, after the unfortunate passing of YoungBoy's grandma died, he moved into his friend's 3-3, and as he lived there, he was treated like family, and 3-3's mother, who is named Monique, treated him like her own son, and YoungBoy even calls her mom. YoungBoy himself has a lot of kids at such an early age, as he is the father of 7 children with different women.
Fact I didn't know.
Like I said, in the beginning YoungBoy and 3-3 were desperate to get some studio sessions in and committed criminal acts to get the funds to pay for studio time. One day he and 3-3 stole car batteries and sold them to use this money for making professional records. Later 3-3 mother Monique paid for the first professional recording session of YoungBoy. From the beginning, at the age of 14, YoungBoy began producing music through a microphone he had bought from Walmart. As time went by, he got better and better with his music. He debuted as one of 2015/2016's rising talents, but that trajectory was altered slightly after a 6-month prison sentence. Following his release in 2017, he became a regular fixture on the Billboard charts, frequently issuing mixtapes, EPs, and singles. His debut album, Until Death Call My Name, hit the top 10 of the Billboard 200 when it appeared in 2018, and his 2019 mixtape AI YoungBoy 2 topped the chart.
I ain't know he had that many albums, to be honest.
The rapper remained in the upper reaches of the chart in 2020 with multiple mixtapes before hitting #1 with his sophomore album, Top. He closed his whirlwind year with yet another mixtape and a collaboration with Rich the Kid, Nobody Safe. YoungBoy returned to the top of the Billboard 200 with 2021's Sincerely, Cantrell, additionally collaborating with Birdman for the mixtape From the Bayou and releasing the 2022 mixtape Colors.
I don't think his working with Birdman lasts that long.
His debut mixtape, Life Before Fame, arrived in 2015 and was quickly followed by a trilogy of releases titled Mind of a Menace. Shining a spotlight on his gritty and violent upbringing, YoungBoy displayed a talent for wordy bars, combining the spirits of contemporaries like 21 Savage and Boosie Badazz. In 2016, he released the 38 Baby mixtape, which featured fellow Baton Rouge rappers like Badazz and Kevin Gates. Before I Go Reloaded, a collection of previously released tracks, was issued at the end of the year, as the future of his burgeoning career remained uncertain. In 2017, after he was
That's how I don't really listen to him, because I didn't know he had music with people he actually started beefing with. So that's new to me too.
released from prison, he issued AI YoungBoy, which featured the single Untouchable. The effort debuted in the top 25 of the Billboard 200. Months later, YoungBoy issued Fed Babies, a collaborative mixtape with Moneybagg Yo. He quickly followed Fed Babies with Ain't Too Long, a short mixtape that debuted as a streaming video playlist before landing on the Billboard 200. In September 2020, he released his third project of the year and second studio album, Top. The 21-song record featured guest spots from Snoop Dogg and Lil Wayne, and debuted at the #1 spot on the Billboard chart. Closing out the year, he went on a blitz of releases, starting with the Crew compilation Never Broke Again, Volume 1, and extending his chart streak with the Top 10 mixtape Until I Return and a collaboration with Rich the Kid, Nobody Safe. Several charting singles, including White Teeth and On My Side, led up to the release of Sincerely, Cantrell, the rapper's third studio LP. The album appeared in September 2021 and became YoungBoy's fourth release to top the Billboard 200. He rounded out the year with From the Bayou, a Cash Money issued mixtape with label co-founder Birdman, which reached the top 20. YoungBoy's first release of 2022, a mixtape titled Colors, reached number 2. As you can see, there has been a lot of accomplishments on YoungBoy's side when it comes to music, as he is one of the most active rappers, but everything hasn't been smooth for YoungBoy, as there has been a lot of legal issues and controversies surrounding himself, beefs and run-ins with the law.
I think he was being funny with the Moroccan.
You know I'm an animal. I belong in the wild, wild, wild. Can I get away, man?
Subliminal, basically.
As I mentioned earlier, YoungBoy is a really talented and known rapper today, but he is also known for making headlines from time to time, and the superstar rapper is almost just as well known for his run-ins with the law as he is for his emotionally tormented music, at this point. In fact, it's part of what kick-started his career in the first place. Starting in 2015, YoungBoy caught his first ever charge. This encounter with the law was the result of him having committed a robbery at only 15 years old. While some gangsta rap artists can blur the lines between life and art with their alleged criminal activity, fans can draw a straight line between his first arrest and his introduction to rap. While jailed in Tallulah, Louisiana on this charge, YoungBoy put pen to paper and founded a rap career based off of his troubled life. These early musings would become the basis for what is now his well-known 2015 debut mixtape, Life Before Fame. Despite an acerbic persona potentially playing into the charges prosecutors pressed against him, YoungBoy spoke of the time during an interview with The Fader in humble terms, saying, "I had been rapping, but I used to hide that shit." He continued, "I was scared, not for sure about myself, playing with my craft." After this 6-month period of change and self-discovery, a criminal court judge opted in favor of NBA's release, allowing him to continue into young adulthood with his freedom intact. In November 2016, he was arrested in Austin, Texas as he was about to perform at a concert. Law enforcement believed that YoungBoy wildly fired guns into a crowd via drive-by, just weeks prior in Baton Rouge. The arrest occurred at an exceptionally unfortunate time for YoungBoy, who had just turned 17 and was thus eligible to be tried as an adult. It appears prosecutors were able to paint a vivid picture of possible punishments enough to overcome YoungBoy's recalcitrant mindset, as he not only paid a post-conviction bail of $50,000, but also accepted a deal to plead guilty and comply with officers in exchange for a less severe prison sentence. Having been charged with 2 counts of attempted first-degree murder, YoungBoy got off with a steal of only 9 months behind bars, and 3 years of probation, a slap on the wrist compared to maximum of 40 years imprisonment he could have received under Texas state law. The prosecutorial reasoning.
How did you beat that time? I mean, I see he got the bail money, so let you know he was actually doing some shit and moving some shit to get some money at a point in time. But how did you beat that kind of charge if you didn't snitch on nobody? Good question.
Is not fully known.
Well, you had a badass lawyer. Us niggas get off of some shit.
At a public scale, so it is undetermined if / how much NBA YoungBoy helped prosecutors by providing information on 2 of the other alleged shooters in the drive-by.
Wow.
2 years later, in 2018, NBA YoungBoy was facing 40 years in prison. Although most people would be quivering at that point, it didn't seem that way for YoungBoy, as he showed no displeasure in doubling down in both his musical and criminal careers. His rap success mushroomed, as he released more hit songs and successful projects, and even signed to media giant Atlantic Records. Despite the groundbreaking success of tracks like Untouchable, authorities appear to have remained unimpressed, as he was arrested on a fugitive warrant for having sought to evade arrest on charges of weapons possession, kidnapping, and assault.
Damn. Was he really doing that shit though? I don't know.
The latter 2 charges pertained in part to an incident recorded in a hotel hallway, which depicts YoungBoy physically abusing his girlfriend, Johnnia Jackson, then dragging her into a hotel room. The ramification of this was nonetheless 1 month in jail, until he paid his $75,000 bond. Videos of the abuse towards Johnnia were later published on the internet, and YoungBoy received a plea deal, simple battery, family violence, and an agreement to pay a $1,500 fine, and complete an anger management course. Jackson took to social media when the video was first published, saying the 2 were only playing, but the public discourse on the matter remains divided. In 2019, things were wild for YoungBoy, and it was supposedly because of a beef between him and T Grizzly, May 13th, just outside the Trump International Beach Resort. YoungBoy was reportedly targeted by a shooter for reasons stemming from an alleged beef with T Grizzly. T denies these claims that he had anything to do with it, and is, according to him, something people stirred up because they lived in the same hotel at that time. He was not harmed, but his then-girlfriend, Kaylin Marie Long, was shot. YoungBoy's bodyguard was also present, and exchanged fire with his attacker.
Yeah. He was in the middle of some of this fire. I ain't believe it at one point, but maybe because it's just, I ain't listened to him really, so I don't really know how to depict his story.
Stray bullets in the exchange traveled substantial distances and struck one 5-year-old boy, who lived, as well as 43-year-old Mohammed Dridai, who unfortunately died. The death of Dridai has not been publicly attributed to NBA alone, nor was his bodyguard charged, given that he was cleared as having acted in self-defense. But being involved in such a fatal occurrence was considered a violation of YoungBoy's probation. With this, he served a 3-month stint behind bars. After finishing his sentence, another judge showed considerable grace, and ended his probation over the attempted homicide charges. YoungBoy took this as a cue to do well, what anyone would probably do after an attempt on their life, and left the state.
Damn. That was smart judgment. Quick thinking as fuck.
The year of 2020 was looking good for YoungBoy as he released 38 Baby 2 and Top. Both managed to top the Billboard charts upon their release earlier that year. Still, he finds himself in headlines once more.
I wonder what he's currently doing though. I know this video is probably like a year or so old. What is his current details? Is Is he still with the record label? You know what I'm saying? Because at one point I heard he's supposed to have been blackballed, but I don't know how true that is. I don't know.
After being arrested in a possible contraband sweep, B caught at least 3 drug and gun charges, reportedly including felony possession of drugs and possession of a stolen firearm. His arrest took place alongside 15 others after police responded to a call regarding individuals displaying firearms and recording a video. Baton Rouge police claim the suspects arrested were Never Broke Again gang members, and Bottom Boy Guerrillas members as well. At the scene, officers discovered numerous firearms, including an AK-47, in addition to hydrocodone, marijuana, digital scales, and Xanax. Furthermore, NBA YoungBoy alone was found to be in possession of $47,000 in cash at the time of the arrest. YoungBoy's lawyer was swift to take up a rigorous defense of his client, stating, "We still have the Second Amendment in the United States. The immediate detention of these black men was illegal in that it violated their constitutional rights. The subsequent searches conducted by law enforcement were also illegal. Even with the illegal searches that were conducted, no firearms or controlled dangerous substances were found on Mr. Gowden's person or in his immediate control. Mr. Gowden is innocent of the charges he was booked on last night and looks forward to defending himself as such."
On an abandoned lot on
This man get out a lot of shit. That lawyer, he know what the fuck he doing.
Chippewa Street. One of those individuals, Kentrell Galden, better known as rapper NBA YoungBoy. The drama surrounding Baton Rouge native rapper NBA YoungBoy. The rapper was one of 16 arrested at the scene.
3 of them, I believe, were convicted felons. So if they didn't have weapons.
His lawyer also denied any guilt, stating there was no indication that he had any guns or drugs on him at the time of the arrest. As news of his arrest surfaced, YB deleted all of his social media, including his Instagram and Twitter accounts. While this case was underway, it was reported in October 2020 that YoungBoy was being investigated for beating a man in the garage of a Texas studio. YoungBoy was about to have a studio session with this guy, and the guy came with his girlfriend, and YB's security said that there were no girls allowed. Afterwards the girl left and things went south from there, but nothing has been concluded.
TaxAct doesn't care which tax filing software you've used in the past.
The fact that he spazzed out over a female being present, that make you really think, like, did he really say my rules matter before this bullshit y'all bring to me? That's a good ass question for anything, because that means he don't play no fucking games then. About his word. That's fucked up.
YoungBoy's legal team claims that they, as well as their client, were blindsided by the FBI's inexplicable tactical decision to arrest the rapper. The legal team notes that in regards to the warrant that was issued for NBA YoungBoy on March 10th and was executed on March 22nd, resulting in the rapper's arrest after a brief police pursuit in Los Angeles, they were unaware of any additional allegations against YoungBoy aside from prior state-level offenses that he was already on bond for. He was later arrested yet again in September of 2020, and this time in his native Baton Rouge, along with 16 others. Furthermore, the attorneys alleged that the feds referred to NBA's case as Never Free Again, which the legal team deems a clear attack onto the defendant's brand Never Broke Again. According to the court filings, the documents also accused Baton Rouge, Louisiana, sector of the FBI of opting to contact federal agents in LA to arrange YoungBoy's arrest instead of contacting his lawyers and allowing the rapper to voluntarily surrender to authorities. At that point things weren't looking good for YoungBoy, and the authorities had him against the wall. Being in jail for 7 months, and was after those 7 months released to serve pre-trial house arrest in Utah. B was granted a $1.5 million bail with a GPS monitor and strict conditions Friday afternoon after the rapper's defense team presented a detailed bond proposal with witness testimony during a 3-day hearing.
getting out. There don't be no difference. He still
Young
be in the
Boy was
streets.
released after posting the first $500,000 of his bail. I'm extremely overwhelmed with gratitude at the result of last week's hearing and think this was the just decision, Young Boy's attorney said. By moving to his residence in Layton, Utah, and paying a private security firm staffed with ex-military to enforce his home detention, the lawyers brought in a woman named Kyrie Oliver who testified that she met Young Boy while working at a Baton Rouge school and struck up a mentoring relationship with him. Oliver told the court that if it granted Young Boy bond, she would assist in keeping an eye on him. So as you can see, Young Boy has since the beginning found himself in some legal trouble and has gotten worse over the years, but he has still been able to release top-tier music for his fans.
Yeah, I know a few of them. Can't stop playing this shit all day.
As for gang affiliation, Young Boy has mentioned to be blood in different occasions and songs like at the end of 1 to 10, where he says blood gang or no gang, you be in or you be out, which isn't just a reference to the Bloods, but the United Blood Nation. A gang that Young Boy later started as 4K Trey, which you could say is a gang but also more of an alliance between different sets like 75th, NBA, BBG, and AMG, that probably became one gang as a whole. 4KT means various different things like 4 Cantrell, Forever Kill Them All, or has also been mentioned to be for his kids 4 with their names starting with K and 1 with T. 4KT consists of members like Quando Rondo, No Cap, NBA Meet Shy Baby, NBA Big B, P Youngin, Baby Joe, Roje, NBA OG33 and B-Way Youngie.
I learned something new. I didn't know it was a whole gang of them. I thought that was just his name.
As I've mentioned throughout this video, Young Boy is very known for his music but also for his legal troubles, etc. etc. But one more thing Young Boy always finds himself is on some beefs with a lot of people. Recently what's been heating up with Lil Durk and his Campando block, NLE Choppa, but also people from his own town and some even his former friends from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, a gang known as TBG Top Boy Gorillas, which is a gang from the south side of Baton Rouge, and Young Boy is from the north side of Baton Rouge but was hanging around people in the south. As for Young Boy's beef with Lil Durk and O Block, it all started with King Von back in 2019, where King Von sang on his Instagram Live that he ain't about that life and that what he raps about isn't real. Young Boy fans went crazy over this and demanded an apology from Von, and he responded that he would only beef with other rappers if they are from 63rd, joking around but gave off the vibe that he wasn't really taking this Young Boy thing seriously. And that was that at the time, and things were calm and nothing was really said afterwards, until 2020, as King Von was seen walking around.
So basically, Von initiated this beef. So it's like he was looking for problems or finding new ops, you want to call it, you know what I'm saying? That's not expected, because most of the time you don't really hear motherfuckers from one side of the town or a motherfucking state. They state to state beefing. I ain't really never heard that. It's usually your in-state motherfuckers, like usual.
around during the summer with YoungBoy's ex-girlfriend, but wasn't a big deal at all.
Fuck YoungBoy talking about on this song, bro.
What?
He talking crazy on this man.
Oh, yeah?
He ain't even like that.
Oh!
On his ass now.
On his
All
ass.
that cap. You got cap in your raps.
Go straight, boss. Don't hit the white lady.
You got cap in your raps.
Park right here.
Damn. He was real disrespectful. In his own city and with somebody else, bitch.
Although nothing was said, the media took this and made a story out of it, and tension started from there as other rappers from Chicago seemed to have weighed in on the situation on social media like 600 Breezy. YoungBoy later responded and things were going back and forth and people from their respective camps started getting involved, and from YoungBoy's camp Quando Rondo and Lil Tim got themselves involved in the situation. Although all of this was seen in social media, when asked about the situation both were calm and said that it isn't like that and it's only the internet making it seem like that. This tension later led to the unfortunate death of King Von in November 6 of 2020, and happened in Atlanta outside Hookah Lounge, and a fight broke out between King Von and Quando, but Lil Tim was the one who supposedly pulled up a gun and opened fire towards King Von.
I'm still wondering why that he changed his thought of his weapon, because he always saying King Von kept one with him. So at this moment, you decided to fight a nigga instead of busting it, because you had to know in your own city or wherever y'all was that night, anywhere, if you beef with a nigga and y'all in the same area, you gonna do one or two. Either you gonna have a motherfucker spin a block and pop the other nigga, or the other nigga gonna do the same thing and vice versa. Or, you know what I'm saying? But you know damn well being in the same spot with a nigga you got into it with, it was gonna be a gunfight. I mean, I know that.
Flexible financing for vet care with Care Credit.
Feel free to help your people grow with Bamboo HR.
Wow, people are bullish on you.
Sign up for a free trial now.
This later led to a bigger beef with others from a block, but mainly Lil Durk, as Durk and Von was close friends, and even though YoungBoy wasn't directly involved, Quando was associated with YoungBoy, and what led to the altercation between Von and Quando from the beginning was due to comments Quando made towards Lil Reese, which supposedly started due to the things going on between Von and YoungBoy in a way. As Durk started beefing with YoungBoy, it diverged the music industry, as YoungBoy basically got excluded, and as Lil Durk is close with a lot of people in the industry, people cut YoungBoy off and stopped collaborating with him, as they didn't want to cut ties with Lil Durk. From there, things were taken to the music side of things as dissing between the two started going off. It is speculated that Durk disses YoungBoy, and
so they're only dissing. See, I'm thinking at one point he gonna read and say that Get Back gang did whatever they did to do to get they get back on that situation. I'm not seeing that, so I'm like, did they let it just be? 'Cause that's a question I don't know.
Quando in his verse and Still Runnin' with Lil Baby and Meek Mill. YoungBoy didn't really respond immediately as he had his legal issues and was locked up, but almost 1 year after the fact, YoungBoy finally responded in his song Bring the Hook from his latest mixtape Colors, where he dissed Hill Block and King Von, in which academics reacted to, and with Lil Reese responding at NLE Chop as well, which led to some tension between YoungBoy and NLE Chop as well.
I'm still wondering though, did they go for their get back or they just let that shit go? I'm confused at this point. Cause you cut them off. I mean, yeah, that's one way. But y'all still went out to everybody else that blew at y'all. So I'm wondering, did you get your get back or no? Not saying I'm promoting violence, but I just know what kind of moves they made in the Chicago area in general. So did they do the same, or did they let the shit go? That's a question I don't know about.
The disses from Bring the Hook wasn't all. He even dissed Lil Durk in No Like I Know, and Lil Durk later responded on an Instagram post saying, "Don't claim it. If you ain't do it," probably meaning that YoungBoy shouldn't speak on it, as he wasn't the one who killed Vaughn. YoungBoy later responded as well on Instagram saying, "You all gon' die." With YoungBoy dissing a block, people from a block went out and burned some green flags, supposedly a hit towards YoungBoy as 4K Trey reps the green flag, and whatever happens from here is unknown. As for tension between Lil Choppa and YoungBoy, it doesn't seem to be that serious, but it apparently started when NLE tweeted "I stamped that" to Lil Reese's tweet, basically saying YoungBoy capping in his music.
When did this shit become a trend?
It is what it is, and it's never what he said. We spent them niggas watching shot at everything.
Wow. Did not see that coming.
Tension already started from the beginning, when they were both kinda blowing up and fans comparing the two for some reason, and fans started taking sides, but it was never anything too serious. The internet was mostly feeding this beef. At some point one of NLE's friends got into an altercation with Quando, and fans assumed it had anything to do with YoungBoy. One other thing is the fact that NLE at some point dated YoungBoy's ex. As for the recent tension, it's because NLE and Vaughn was really close friends, and NLE was defending his name as he felt he had to, because of the fact that Vaughn can't defend his own name. In the YB track No Like I Know, besides dissing Durk, he also took a couple of shots at NLE.
I just crack NLE Chopper homeboy in this shit, running up on me. Hey, crack nigga ass in this shit, nigga. Fuck NLE Chopper. And I got that found me, and I'm round Houston. What's up? Nigga, pussy ass nigga. Niggas know what the fuck going on with me, yeah. Free white B. 4K Trey, nobody say. Yeah, his partner ran up on me, cracked him in this shit with a Hennessy bottle. Bust his little face all open. Blood everywhere. And I got that found me, nigga. Same body I cracked that nigga in this shit with. On hood. On my child. Nigga.
Cuz how the fuck is you niggas took y'all hiding behind security, cuz? On Jesus Christ, when we brought that shit out, y'all know what the fuck you did. You came and hid behind security. You was a bitch, nigga. On Jesus. Fuck, nigga. You hid behind security and threw a bottle in my nigga head, but you gangster. What? Fuck is you talking about, cuz? Nice ass, nigga. We doing this shit for real. On Jesus. In your ass can't come to Memphis. Fuck you talking about. You can't come to Memphis. Fuck you talking about.
These niggas.
Post,
Yeah.
So, and
It wasn't even that though.
Why did you say that? Right?
You
So,
talking about on the Reese post.
yeah, so, like, again, I think I tweeted something and Reese was like, man, listen, man, these dudes ain't on no demon time shit, man. They just rapping, right? And you pretty much you commented under that to say, yo, I stamped that.
And he always been a brother to me. I just feel like he's not able to defend his name, bro. And it be a lot going on within his name about him when...
These are a few of the beefs YoungBoy has been involved in over the years. But one of the biggest rivalries are back in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and as I have mentioned earlier is with a gang so-called Top Boy Gorillas, and is a gang from the south side of Baton Rouge, which consists of Frito Bangs amongst others. The south side of BR consists of two parts, the top and the bottom, therefore the Top Boy Gorillas, and their ops in the bottom are called Bottom Boy Gorillas. The gang is from the Eastern Boulevard in Uptown in South Baton Rouge, and as a gang they also have a music label within their group called TBG/Bang Biz, and are one of the oldest gangs out of Baton Rouge, which stems from the 1990s. As a gang it is optimal to have allies when things go down with other gangs and things start heating up. The allies of TBG in this case are gangs like FL Felony Lane, Bands, Gardner A Lane, and Sherwood. As for their opposition, their most notorious beef is with YoungBoy/NBA/4KT, but they have other ops as well, like BBG Bottom Boy Gorillas, Boosie Boys, Bankstown, Ghost Town and Cross the Tracks.
What's better than a cheesy bite? Cheese in every bite. That's why we invented stuff.
So it's basically not too different from how Chicago shit is so far. In ways, I wouldn't say they're completely the same, but they
Back in the day, there weren't a lot of rappers coming out of Baton Rouge, and weren't that popular to begin with, as people from BR didn't know it was possible at the time. But they did have a few rappers though, but not on mainstream or national level, only local stuff. Then there was Boosie, who was one of the first rappers to put BR on the map, and due to Boosie's success it fueled a fire in BR, and the people would follow onto his footsteps, one of which was known as Lil Ivy. Lil Ivy was well known in the streets of BR and was known to be an aggressive hustler and had a well-respected reputation. Lil Ivy and Boosie were close back in the day, and through Boosie, Ivy got an understanding of how the business side of music was working and decided to start his own label from there called Top Boy Gorilla Records in honor of TBG, and were considered as one of the city's founding labels.
What happened? I think his name's Snoop. I wonder what happened to that nigga. That's a cold ass picture.
TBG is a label debuted with Lil Ivy as the first artist, coming out of TBG, and was about to be the next big thing to take over and make more noise for BR in the industry. But unfortunate events would change all that, as in 2005 on April 3rd, Lil Ivy's life was unfortunately taken. This loss led to a lot of people feeling mixed emotions, and led to things heating up and started a civil war in BR. The death of Lil Ivy led to the TBG label not taking off until a decade later, with the next generation of TBG members bringing the dream back to life. This new generation of TBG produced a handful of new rappers ready to take over. Cleezy 5 became the one to lead and revive this label with this new group of young rappers into success, with rappers like Frito Bang and G Money. Many huge careers were launched from this startup, and with G Money being the first one to really take off and gain the recognition out of TBG. But Frito Bang was the one to release the first mixtape titled Lost Files and released the banger iPhone 6 alongside G Money, Boulevard Mel and YMM Captain. But Frito later got locked up, which slowed down Frito's road to success.
So, to me, so far, they bloodshed is not as deep as most I've seen so far. Like, half the videos I've done, I've seen more bloodshed than actual music. Some people didn't get to the music till they almost close to their death. A lot of these folks actually look like they're making it close to somewhere before some they deaths occurred, I guess, or whatever. See, I don't know a lot of these characters.
In 2016, Fredo Bang got himself into a situation in which he had apparently got into a verbal altercation that quickly escalated into gun violence, and was later arrested for attempted second-degree murder and was in jail for 2 years. During that time, G Money, who is a close friend and a fellow TBG member, were climbing up the ranks with his music blowing up.
So how long is his sentence?
As for the members of TBG, as I've mentioned earlier, consists of Fredo Bang, G Money, Lit Yoshi, Lil Ivy's nephew, Cleezy 5, Boulevard Mel, Twin, 1 Theezy, Osama, Speedy, Boulevard Quick, 7 Hardaway, Boulevard Re-Up, Sleepy, Dame, and Whack. The names I just mentioned are notable members, and not all members.
I heard that name before, but I'm not sure what he really do.
As I've talked about G Money and Fredo, one important part of this whole movement is Cleezy 5, who, as I've mentioned earlier, was the one to revive the TBG as a music label, but has also been featured in his artist's songs as well, which gave him a lot of recognition as well alongside the others, and weren't only working behind the scenes. In 2019 he was supposedly arrested, but the reason is uncertain, but the rumor is that he was arrested upon some drug charges as an op pointed him out to the authorities. As Cleezy 5 got out that same year, he signed Lil Ivy's nephew Lit Yoshi. In April 2019, Lit Yoshi debuted with his first appearance on music as a feature on Fredo Bang's Lonesome, a month after he released his debut single, Smoke Out. Lit Yoshi isn't only known for making music for TBG, he's also known as one of TBG's top shooters, as he is allegedly connected to 7 attempted murders, but I will dive into that later.
See, I heard of Lit Yoshi, but I didn't know what he was really, who he really was, or what his music really was about. That song.
From the beginning, YoungBoy was cool with TBG. He used to hang with them and even be on music videos with them at some point back in the day, like iPhone 6 and Gorilla Bread in the background. Growing up, YoungBoy was good friends with G Money's younger brother, and that automatically made him a friend of G Money as well. In the beginning of YoungBoy's career, he and NBA 33 were both signed to TBG. He released his Life Before Fame through TBG's label in 2015, but by the end of the year, for some reason, YoungBoy wasn't affiliated with TBG anymore. The supposed reasons for their separation was due to YoungBoy not getting paid, and because of G Money sleeping with YoungBoy's sister. When YoungBoy was in TBG, He was kind of pushed to the side as G Money and Fred Obang was the priority of the label, but as YoungBoy separated from these guys and started going by NBA YoungBoy, he quickly wrote.
So now I see how he became a solo artist majority of his way. Well, as far as I've heard in his recent years. Like, I've heard a little bit of his shit, but like I said, I don't really understand a lot of his music, so.
To fame and made better numbers than TBG. YoungBoy later became close with his blood cousin, known as Boozilla, who he was beefing with when he was affiliated with TBG, because of the fact that Boozilla were affiliated with BBG, and they are the ops of TBG, but their issues got resolved and they became very close. As for B and TBG, they had officially burnt their bridges and started dissing each other in their songs. G-Money confirmed the rumors about him and B's sister, and said that it didn't bother YoungBoy in the beginning, but it clearly did, and that was a violation.
Well, there's certain boundaries you just don't stand on. I don't blame you. I would respect that thought because ain't no way in hell you doing that shit, and you think it's cool with us.
Not really. He mad about his sister too, though.
About his sister?
Yeah, I had fucked her a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
I seen half of this interview, and his ass and Cat just bullshit around about it.
Okay.
Yeah, he mad about that. He wasn't really tripping on it back then, though. You know what I'm saying? He be calling me big brother and shit. You hear me? I guess he just let that fame and shit get to his head. Now he feel like he just this new nigga, whoever he supposed to be, whoever he called himself.
As for Boozilla, as I've mentioned earlier, was a member of the BBGs, but also claimed NBA crew as he was close with his cousin. Through that relationship, YoungBoy became cool with the BBGs, and they were friends and so-called allies out on the streets, and they were all beefing with TBG. Unfortunately, on November 2nd, 2016, NBA Boozilla was shot and killed, and his body was discovered just after midnight near the 2000 block of Nebraska Street with multiple wounds to the upper torso, and the one who got charged for the murder was a 17-year-old by the name of Trashon Coates. Coates was free on $5,000 bail at the time of the shooting, after being arrested for possession of a stolen firearm traced back to the burglary of a Government Street pawn shop on July 9th, that Baton Rouge law enforcement officials, during a nationally televised press conference, said may have been part of a credible threat to harm police. The burglary occurred 4 days after Baton Rouge resident Alton Sterling was shot to death at a local convenience store during a struggle with 2 police officers.
How do I do it all? With a little help. And to support my family's immune health, I choose Airborne.
The shooting set off protests across the nation. Officers arrested Coates July 10th, the day following the burglary, after spotting him brandishing the handgun. Coates tried to run, according to a police report, but was caught not far away. Officers recovered 2 guns stolen from the pawn shop in the brush where Coates tried to hide them. Kangar Taylor, Boozilla's mother, said the night he was shot she came home from work to find him and his siblings asleep with his school uniform ironed, and his book bag packed on the edge of his bed. She said after she went to bed, Buzilla was baited by a shooter to come outside, and that her son was riding his bike when he was shot. That same day Buzilla got killed, YoungBoy went out looking for get back for the murder of his beloved cousin. YoungBoy was one out of two gunmen, who jumped out of a car and started shooting at several people at the 2000 block of Kentucky Street. YB apparently went out looking for who's responsible with NBA Ben 10, NBA Self-Paid, and NBA Joe and shot two people they thought was responsible. They missed their target, and NBA Joe got shot in the neck while in the passenger seat. It is believed that Buzilla got shot for dissing someone from TBG, but isn't certain. But nonetheless, the beef between YoungBoy and TBG only got worse from there, and for the shooting YoungBoy got arrested and charged with 2 attempted murders and spent 8 months in jail fighting the case. NBA Joe was taken to the hospital and luckily made it out alive.
I mean, now, hearing more about this young man, you know, you kind of get a bigger picture now of who he really was. I didn't really think some of his lyrics made sense, but maybe they do now, you know. Like, that's like I said, I'm not saying I'm bashing him. I'm just saying I didn't know. So the point is to watch the story, you know what I'm saying, figure out more about him. Because to be honest with you, I thought, like a lot of few people thought, but I didn't say it online because shit, I don't know him. So I can't say who he is and who he ain't. But the story is kind of picking up a bigger picture for me somewhere.
Only one day after, on November 3, 2016, the same street where Buzilla was shot and killed got shot up yet again around 30 times. They arrested a man by the name of Derek Juice, and charged with principal to attempted second-degree murder for allegedly driving the vehicle from which shots were fired. A man sitting on the front porch of a Nebraska street home in Baton Rouge Thursday morning told police that 2 men jumped out of a stopped car and began shooting at him. 37 shots were fired, and the 2 shooters jumped back in the car driven by Derek Keith Juice, of 806 Julia Street, a Baton Rouge police report says. The report does not say whether any of the 37 bullets hit the victim on the porch at 1962 Nebraska Street, but he was able to identify Juice as the driver. Juice was booked into parish prison as a principal to 2 counts of aggravated criminal damage to property, and 1 count of principal to attempted second-degree murder, illegal use of a weapon, and simple criminal damage to property. According to the report, 2 cars, including a Nissan driven by Juice, passed in front of the residence 2 times at about 9:50 a.m. Thursday, and on the 3rd time the 2 shooters jumped out of the car after it stopped, and began firing their guns. Bullets did hit the Nebraska Street house, where another person was inside. In addition, an unoccupied car was hit by gunfire. After the shooting ended, the 2 shooters jumped back into the car, and Juice, who did not get out of the car while the shooting took place, drove away, police reported. Juice was booked after the victim identified him via a photo lineup. As YoungBoy later got out, the beef between G-Money and YoungBoy got even more heated. YoungBoy released his album AI YoungBoy, which consists of several disses towards his ops. Things were later getting heated on social media, with both of them going at it back and forth. G-Money later released Industry, which is a diss towards YoungBoy and was released by August of 2017. A month later, the month of September, G-Money would unfortunately get shot and killed, and this incident occurred in a parking lot of a music studio, and were about to meet up with his close friend Fred Obang, who was supposed to be released that same day out of prison. After the fact that G-Money got murdered, they kept Fred Obang locked up a little while longer, just to make sure he doesn't retaliate. This is where the beef with Fred Obang really started, because he was locked up when everything started between YoungBoy and TBG.
Damn. So they didn't give that man a chance to even get out. They said, fuck, we gonna hold you so you don't retaliate. But how you know how this man's mind was going? I mean, I know eventually he might have made up a plan, but how you know he was gonna be right back on that? You just held him in there. That's fucked up.
YB was laying low at the time, because he didn't want the attention from the feds but wasn't really a direct suspect. But everyone associated with the NBA group was a suspect more or less because of the beef with TBG, and the fact that disses were exchanged only a few days prior. Boulevard Quick, who was locked up at the time and was supposedly locked up with NBA 3-3, and supposedly beat him up as revenge for G-Money. Someone did get arrested in connection of the death of G-Money in 2019, and that was NBA Lil Pap with one count of second-degree murder. He is an alleged and suspected shooter of the gang but pleaded not guilty in his case, and the status is to be determined.
Real story, how I fucked over 3-3. Yeah. I'm in a dorm. I had just lost G. G had just died, you know what I'm saying? I'm fucked up. You hear me? 3-3 in the dorm with me. He had just came to the dorm that night. That morning, I walked up to his bed, woke him up, punched him in his shit, stomped him out. He shitted on himself and checked out. Told the people he cannot be around me or Fredo Bang.
While NBA Lil Pap denied the accusation when he was interviewed by the police, he apparently admitted that if someone in the NBA crew were to shoot somebody, he'd be that guy. As the investigation progressed, police discovered that his phone records didn't match his alibi, and that he was in Baton Rouge the night of the murder. Before that discovery, he said that he had fled the city as he tried to protect his family. If found guilty, he will face life in prison. Lil Pap has been out on a $250,000 bond following his 2019 arrest. Lil Pap was supposedly shot prior by a known shooter from TBG by the name of Lit Yoshi.
I ain't wasting no time. Guess I could change my opinion on some of that. The answers do come back in time differently.
Flintstones vitamins are the #1 pediatrician recommended children's vitamin brand.
A year later in 2018, NBA YoungBoy was about to suffer another loss, and that would be his manager Dump, who would unfortunately get shot and killed outside his home by his driveway with his girlfriend. As shots were fired, Dump's girlfriend got hit as well but luckily survived. Unfortunately, her boyfriend didn't share that same fate. Dump was killed in May of 2018, and this was a heavy loss for YoungBoy as they were really close. The way it went down was that Dump and his girl were standing by their driveway outside his house and a car drove by and started shooting. The shooter was supposedly someone from TBG, and this intensified the beef between YoungBoy and TBG. Shortly after this murder, Fredo Bangs got out of prison and Boulevard Quick got out as well, and it was from there they started turning up with their music. YoungBoy later released AMR and dissed G-Money, basically saying the rest of the TBG are going to end up like G-Money for killing Dump, and the diss just went back and forth from there. YoungBoy's mother even took it to social media herself, saying FK Fredo Bang and FK Boulevard Slow. Quick responded telling YoungBoy's mother to stay out of it.
Mama got pissed off.
fuck Fredo Rain, and fuck Boulevard Slow. Let me see.
Man. Yeah, man. Fuck YoungBoy, mom. Tell me shit about that bitch. That bitch can eat a big, long dick. I'm talking about a dick so long that bitch can go through her and any daughter she ever had. And any daughter she dream about making. Fuck that hoe. Yeah, man. That bitch can get out my bitch can say what she wants to say about me. She hollering, fuck me, bitch, you look like a man though. Bitch, you look like a punk. Talking about fuck me, bitch. I ain't Fredo, bitch. I speaks on everything.
A few weeks after Boulevard Quick responded to YoungBoy's mother in November of 2018, Boulevard Quick was found dead and was shot outside his apartment. The TBG members who were allegedly involved in Dump's murder was Lit Yoshi, and Boulevard Quick, and the murder of Quick is supposedly retaliation. Lit Yoshi was later arrested and charged a few attempted murders. As I've mentioned earlier, Lit Yoshi is a well-known shooter coming off TBG, and is the nephew of the OG Lil Ivy. He allegedly shot and killed Dump, and has been involved in a few shootings like the alleged shooting of NBA Lil Pap, and he was allegedly involved in the shooting in Miami, in the YoungBoy shooting, which led to an innocent bystander dying and a father and his kid grazed in YoungBoy's girl at the time as well.
Damn, I heard about that. Damn. They don't give no fuck. It's kill to be killed where I see that shit. That's the time they feeling living.
He was later arrested and faced 7 counts of attempted murders, in which 2 of them were in 2020. Lit Yoshi was in house arrest in Florida in July of 2021 for a 2019 shooting involving rapper NBA YoungBoy, when 5 guns, ammunition, and a bulletproof vest were found inside Fredo Bang's home. This evidence was enough to connect him to a recent shooting in Slidell involving a member of YoungBoy's record label. For this, Yoshi was moved to prison in St. Tammany Parish and his bond of $1.82 million was revoked. Yoshi's defense attorneys originally argued his DNA and fingerprints were not on the weapons. However, at his bond hearing, the defense decided to withdraw their motion to have his bond reinstated based on the new evidence. In April 2019, Yoshi was supposedly involved in a shooting outside of an AM Mart in Highland Road. Members of BBG and NBA were standing in a parking lot and a car supposedly drove by and started shooting with an automatic rifle. A victim from the shooting supposedly told the authorities and pointed out Lit Yoshi as the shooter. Then there was another shooting barely 1 month after this one in May, where the incident with YoungBoy in Miami occurred outside a hotel that led to a 43-year-old man's death by the name of Muhammad Shridai. They tracked a phone call between Yoshi and another TBG member and found out that Yoshi was in Miami at that time and that he was near that hotel. After this there was yet another shooting, as you already know, and this time Yoshi was caught on camera. The shooting occurred outside an apartment building on Hanks Drive. In this surveillance you can see 2 men shooting at someone that is out of the camera frame. According to authorities, Yoshi and his associate pulled up in a Jeep Cherokee and jumped out as they pulled up and opened fire. Their target was supposedly hit but survived his injuries, and the op that was struck was allegedly NBA Lil Pap. This shooting was supposedly retaliation for G Money. On 4th of July 2020,
some people actually scope out areas for cameras and shit so it avoid them to get caught on camera. But it seems like nowadays the younger crowd really don't give a fuck. They just want their op. That's it.
There was yet another shooting, which took place at the Mallard Crossing apartment complex on Green Laurel Springs Road. There was a car parked in the area in which 2 adults and 2 kids were in. A car pulled up next to them and started opening fire and struck everyone in the car. Luckily they all survived. After this shooting, the authorities had had enough and wanted to bring the ceiling down on Yoshi, and connected him to the shooting through a rental car that was used in the shooting, and it was registered to Yoshi's girlfriend. and as they found the car, Yoshi was still in it. They later searched through his apartment and found the shoes matching the ones a guy was wearing in the surveillance video of the Lil Pap shooting, and connected it all. Lit Yoshi is allegedly involved in other shootings, but doesn't have the evidence to convict him like the murder of Dumb. In July 2021, Frito's house was raided in Miami and Lit Yoshi was arrested yet again for an attempted murder in Slidell, Louisiana back in 2020. NBA Michi and another person were allegedly in a parked car outside of an apartment complex and someone ran up to the car and started shooting. NBA Michi is YoungBoy's cousin and was the target according to some court paperwork. Lit Yoshi has dissed Michi online ever since, calling him a snitch and accusing him of cooperating with the police. Michi has responded and denied these claims but said he was called in to testify and also says he was in fact the target of the shooting. If Lit Yoshi is convicted of all these charges, he will be facing some serious time. Frito Bangs was also arrested for separate charges and found guns and a stolen car in Frito's house, so things aren't looking too good for TBG right now. At this point, TBG was down by a lot with two of their main rappers dead, and Lit Yoshi being charged. Fredo Bang is the only big rapper left maintaining the beef with YoungBoy, and the dissing is a guarantee at this point. YoungBoy was set to release a project in 2020, September 11th, and Fredo was about to drop the same day and taunted YoungBoy for it, calling YoungBoy his son. YoungBoy responded on social media saying he is above Fredo, and to dig up his dead brothers, dissing Frito's dead friends. Frito responded in a calm, collected way, just laughing, basically telling YoungBoy to seek help as he seems very angry and proceeds to diss YoungBoy's dead homies as well.
Dig all three of your brothers up with your scary ass. You a bitch. Stop running from me. I ain't in no competition with you. Stop writing me. You a hoe. Bitch ass nigga, you ain't no killer. You won't be like me. You write me all day. You a hoe. I could double back. Hey, I could fuck any bitch. Nigga gonna try to double back and fuck the bitch. I could fuck your mama. You gonna try to fuck your mama. You a bitch. You a pure bitch.
Man, somebody go help little brother out, bro. He angry, dog. He angry. Talking about dead partners and shit. It ain't like I'm on this bitch talking about fat boy and that extra large coffin he got. You hear me? Or Professor X, how he push his half dead ass around. I'm not on this bitch talking about that. I said I was gonna sell more albums. You drop it every time I fucking drop. You know what I'm saying?
From there, YoungBoy went through all the legal troubles that I've mentioned earlier, and as of right now, YoungBoy is in Utah in house arrest until further notice, and continues to drop music to his loyal fans and keep his number up on a top-tier level. As of the beef with TBG, it seems to have been put in ice, but the heat between YoungBoy and Lil Durk seems to have been heating up, and drawing a lot of attention right now. Both releasing music dissing each other and each other's dead ones, and they both released diss songs the same day of February 22nd, the day Durk was supposedly going to release his new album, the same day as Kanye, but both of them tricked us. But Lil Durk released Aha saying the album will be released in March 11th. A few hours later that same day, YoungBoy released I Hate YoungBoy, basically going off dissing everybody that's sided with Durk and disses people like Gucci Mane, Lil Baby, India, and even Boosie, and shout out Swooski and Op of Durk.
What the fuck? Some of the people don't even have no content to do with that. He just mixed in everybody fucking everybody. This little beefing with that man? I don't know why he went to Woosie. I ain't getting that one.
The beef started off as a small internet beef, but seems to be escalating in terms of the disses. Hopefully it doesn't go beyond music. What's to come is unknown at this point, with YoungBoy going through his legal troubles. But the dissing hasn't stopped, but as I said, hopefully stays within the music.
So basically, he no different. He's just a bit younger than half the folks I actually been watching. And a lot of motherfuckers I've been watching actually been young as hell and dying, so I guess it ain't too young. But he started young as hell for his music career, that I will say. I guess he is what he talk about. I don't really know. I don't really know how he got down completely. But in there it tells some details though. His dad's been arrested a lot. But that's the only time I ever heard somebody get off easy. It look like it's done anyway, I'm tripping. But it looked like he got off easy on a lot of cases, which I don't see if it was because of the lawyers, was he snitching? But it didn't really detail no snitching, really. I mean, it had a little part, but I don't think he actually was. I don't know. But anyway, shit, I learned a little bit more about this little motherfucker I didn't know. Some of his music I learned by features. You know what I'm saying? Like, he got some words, he can hit some shit. He can fuck with some shit. On his own, I don't know him because, I mean, shit, I don't know. I'm not really into a lot of people, but I don't know, some of these people I'm reviewing, I might have to change that up. But anyway, I'm gone.